down sort of ethnically and speaking English and those sorts of things, what would we come up with?
Well, the largest group obviously would be the indigenous Northern Mariana indigenous population, which is two ethnic groups. You have the Chamorros, which are kind of like originally from island Southeast Asia, with a lot of mixture.
Micronesian is the best way to describe them.
Not quite. You know, it's kind of funny. There's been a lot of intermixing over the generations, but basically island Southeast Asia. And then you had the Carolinians, which are Micronesian.
We'll find out a little bit more here. The number, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. Gonna find out about what happened with guns on the island of Saipan. Okay. Free Talk Live.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend two spectacular debates. Is government necessary? And does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
I done forgot your name, but we had 9/11, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, if they weren't here, could it have happened?
Could what have happened? If who wasn't here? How wasted are you? That's what I want to know.
No, sir. No, I'm not wasted.
Okay.
No, please just listen to me.
Okay.
If the people weren't here that drove the planes into the Twin Towers,
yeah,
right?
They flew them. They didn't drive them, but okay.
No, I'm not saying that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because now
wow.
Yeah. I gotta think a minute.
That's all right. We got nothing but time.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, coming to you live from the U.S. Mariana Islands. It's Mark with you.
And Alex.
And Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thank you for coming on Free Talk Live and talking to us about all the things that we don't know about Saipan. And, in the previous segment, we were talking to you about the ethnic breakdown, whatever it is, of the U.S. Mariana Islands,
Right.
and we had talked about the Chamorros and the Carolinians, and those are sort of the native islanders. And I want to get back into that, but first, let's go to the phones. We've got Tom calling in from New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
And by the way, Hong Kong Express has apologized to one lady that, they were going to let her get on the flight to Saipan, but they said, first you got to take a pregnancy test so we can make sure you're not going to have a baby and get the baby U.S. citizenship by virtue of being born in the USA in Saipan. And they apologized for that, and they changed that policy now, so they don't require possibly pregnant women to take a pregnancy test in order to get to Saipan. But what I want to talk to you about is daylight saving time. And what that's about.
We don't do it, thank God.
Yeah, now, not in Saipan, but what I'm getting at is, first of all, what is meant by mean solar time when they're talking about like Greenwich Mean Time is that the Earth rotates in 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds, but it's moving on its orbit during that time. So it takes a few more minutes for the same hemisphere to face the sun again. And the exact amount is different during the year because the orbit is not a circle. And so that's why, instead of having days that are all different lengths, they take the average solar day, which is 24 hours. And if you have a clock, and if on the average the sun transits the meridian where you are 12 hours after that clock strikes midnight, then that clock is set to your local mean solar time, average solar time. And there is a bill in the Utah legislature. It passed the Senate. Senate Bill 59 is now in the House of Representatives in Salt Lake City to extend daylight saving time year-round, which would require federal approval. And that is ultra stupid because Mountain Standard Time is the mean solar time of 105 degrees west, and Utah is entirely west of that, 109 to 114 degrees west. And in fact, the western part of Utah.
It may be stupid, but a lot of people are wanting this, Tom. I mean, a lot of people seem to be wanting. I mean, okay, so it is true that noon is a thing, right? Like the sun is in a certain location in the sky that designates noon. However, nobody knows that, right? Like, you don't walk out in the outside of your house and say the sun is at its apex. It must be noon. So if time is to serve us, which the best I can tell, that's what it's for, then all these people from, it's not just Wyoming, but, Florida and Maine and New Hampshire and Massachusetts have all asked basically to be on, to some level or another they've asked, to be on basically Atlantic time. In the case of Wyoming, it would be Central time. When they say to extend daylight savings time year-round, what they mean is they want to hop one time zone to the east.
I've emailed the members of the House of Representatives out to Salt Lake City to explain this stuff to them, and then I sent a follow-up.
I'm sure they're riveted.
One representative replied that, Arizona, they don't do daylight saving time. They have the same. They don't have to change their clock. And she explained that the thing is, it's wicked hot there, and people get out of work, and it's wicked hot, and they got this long afternoon with the sun scorching down on them. And in Utah, they're further north, so it's not so hot. So they want a nice, long, sunlit afternoon. Well, why don't they just go to work instead of at 8 a.m. to 8 to 17 daylight saving time? Why don't they just work from 7 to 16 Mountain Standard Time. And then I also followed up with this point, and that is that people would be ringing in the new year in Times Square, New York, okay? And then an hour later, people would be ringing in the new year in Pensacola, Florida, at the same hour that they'd be ringing in the new year in Utah.
And what difference does it make? I mean, ultimately, really, Tom. I mean, if time is to serve us, so I ring in the new year an hour earlier than the solar day would allow. So what? I mean, that's great. Fine, I get to go to bed an hour earlier, and life is more productive. I'm up in the daylight.
Well,
to quote Douglas Adams, time is an illusion, lunchtime doubly so.
Yes. So, but anyway, their longitude is so far west that part of Utah should be or belongs in Pacific time zone, and so it's like they're just being idiots trying to go on to Central Standard Time instead of Mountain Time. And
how about this as a solution, Tom? How about we just get rid of time zones? How about we do daylight, 24-hour time, Zulu time for everybody everywhere? Zulu time is Greenwich Mean Time, but they use the term UTC instead of Greenwich Mean Time or GMT.
Well, but see, now I have my computer set that way. The internal clock in my computer is set to Greenwich Mean Time.
There's a good chance you might be insane. Just if what you've done is set your time to Zulu time, 24-hour time, Greenwich Mean.
And the reason I do that is so I can be. The reason I do that is so I can be superior to the ignorant masses. I said it's a 24-hour format.
We bow before your time godliness. No doubt about it, Tom. Thank you for the call. Oh, God. So I only want to be as crazy as Tom is, right?
At least he's not a flat earther.
Well, he's right about this, is that time is a mess. And with communication getting better and better, it's only going to get worse. Communication is difficult, so I don't know what the best solution is so that we can all kind of be on one page, but I can tell you right now here in Saipan, it is 10 a.m., but people are listening to us Eastern time. Well, I mean, it's 10:27. They're listening at 7:27.
Yeah.
So there's some complications as far as time goes.
Well, on the daylight savings
time's a mess.
That to me was a selling point for this place, because we don't need it, because we're so close to the equator that, like, winter solstice and summer solstice, the difference between sundown and sunup is so minimal.
It's almost always the same. It's within an hour every day of the year.
So if you have seasonal affective disorder where it's like, you want to just, kill yourself in the wintertime because you're so depressed, I mean, this is kind of like a great change.
You might be a libertarian if you like gold, you like guns, you hate daylight savings time, and you think we should switch from the imperial system to metric.
Well, I just know that nobody would walk a kilometer for a camel, but But on the daylight saving, I mean, the guy has a point. I always thought daylight savings time was horse hockey, but it came out to give people more work time during World War I, and the history of it was just kind of convoluted in the first place.
People die from it, though. I mean, they actually have heart attacks increase around daylight savings time. So daylight savings time, and plus the tired drivers on the way to school, it kills. What do you think about daylight savings time? The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveAtPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever is on your mind. It is Mark with you.
And Alex.
And Dave.
And we're, talking about the U.S. Mariana Islands here and all the things that are going on. And we were kind of doing a ethnic breakdown situation. Dave, could you continue on with that?
Well, okay, so we got the Native Islanders, which are about 30 to 35% of the people here. And sometime around 15, 20 years ago, there was a huge influx of Chinese. So there's about maybe 15% of the people here are from China. We had the garment factories a while ago that hired a lot of people from Asia. We also have a lot of Filipinos. I would say about 25% of the people here are Filipinos. And then you've got a mixture of other Asians. You got a lot of Koreans. You got a lot of Japanese and some Bangladeshis and Nepalese, and then you've got, I guess, what you would call Howleys, guys like me.
What are Howleys?
Well, they're sort of like sort of the generic term for just people from the mainland U.S., mostly white guys, but it's I would say Mainland U.S. transplants maybe about 1% to 2% of the population, and then we've got a lot of Russians running around here. We had more, but a lot of it deals with the immigration laws and the economics of the place. So
would you say somebody can get by on English pretty well here?
Heck yeah. I mean, I learned a little bit of Mandarin when I was in school, and then I was married to a Chinese lady, so I picked some up. But the Filipinos, their language of instruction is English. The locals here, they have their own language, Chamorro, and then you have the Carolinians got their language. But the lingua franca of business here is English. So, yeah, you can get along with English very, very well here.
Yeah, you might meet a few people that don't speak it very well, but not many.
Yeah, or you go into the any place and you see signage that's written by somebody whose English is like the second language, and like there's a lack of plural S's at the end of some words.
Yeah, there's some English.
Yeah, and or like people say open the aircon, which means turn the air conditioner off.
Yeah.
And you get used to it. It's no big deal.
So, let's go on with that real quick. I want to tell you about LibertyCon. Ian and I, Free Talk Live, are going to be going to the Liberty Convention. LibertyCon. It is April the 3rd through the 5th. In Washington, D.C. So it's coming up very soon here. Time to get your tickets. And the tickets are really low cost. I mean, this isn't one of those really expensive conventions where you're dropping hundreds of dollars. I think the most expensive ticket is like $100. And if you use coupon code FTL, you can save $10 off of it, and that brings it down below 2 digits. I mean, you don't find that too often. Big name speakers here. Like any convention, you would hope that there would be some big name speakers. And here they are. Michael Huemer, who is a professor of philosophy and quite the libertarian speaker. One of my favorites, Titus Gable, who I will be going there to. I think I'm hosting some kind of debate having to do with the Free Private Cities folks. And the big names, there's Steve Forbes, John Mackey, who's the CEO and co-founder of Whole Foods, Miriam Issa, she's a media personality, Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize winner, it just goes on and on. Maguette Wade, director of the Atlas Network Center for African Prosperity. So, please come out, hang out with us. Maybe you can get on the radio. Who knows? We'd love to hear from you. LibertyCon.com, coupon code FTL, LibertyCon.com. So going back to the Saipan thing, people can get around with English here, not too difficult. It is the United States, as much as difficult as it is for many companies to figure that out. Amazon's had a little difficulty figuring that out, right?
Yeah. Well, and also ordering things here. Sometimes you go to order something from like an Amazon or something, and then it asks for what state you're in, and there's like no choice.
Right. Yeah. MP is the territory's designation, but oftentimes it's just not on a list. Mm-hmm. College students, or people report here that when they went to college, and most of them go to college in the mainland, they tend to be able to go to bigger and better universities simply because they stick out in the crowd of people who are applying. Well, this one applied from, where the hell is MP? I have no idea.
I got an interesting story about that. Until recently, our driver's licenses were a piece of laminated paper that it looked like my high school ID card, right? and I was in Florida visiting my mom and dad, and I did an illegal U-turn because, well, here it's kind of like
get it where you can get the getting's good.
Yeah, well, it's like so I'm used to driving here, and I accidentally did an illegal U-turn, and the Smokey Bear came up, pulled me over. Whoop, whoop. And wanted to see my driver's license, and he was like, "What the heck is this, boy?" And I'm like, "Well, it's my driver's license." He goes, "No, it's not." And then he's like,
"Right."
And then
you were trying to pass one over on him.
And the only thing that got me out of trouble was I had a quarter, one of those 50 state quarters. Well, we have one, and I had one in my pocket. And I was like, no, seriously, we're part of the United States. And he was like, I'd never heard of that. And I'm like, well, here's our quarter. And he like looked at it.
Right, geography isn't important on the police exam.
And he runs back to his partner and goes, hey, Frank, look at this. And then he comes back and he goes, can I have this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, and he reaches, he gives me a quarter because I couldn't give him a gift.
Yeah, that's good. That's the right thing for him to do.
So if you're from Saipan and you're driving in the mainland, make sure you have a quarter on you from here.
Yeah, I mean, the current driver's license, it's much better than it used to be.
Yeah.
However, it still isn't up to mainland standards. It still looks a bit like a college ID.
When I first got here for the first 2 years, the machine was broken. So they gave me a piece of paper that said driver's license on it, and I walked around with a folded up piece of paper that was, pooped out of the copy machine. It was
like the voter IDs.
And I got it. The best part too was I got out of taking the test. They were like, "We need you to take a driver test." I said, "Are you kidding? I come from Detroit, the town where they invented the car." And they go, "Okay." And then the best part was the dude who was processing my license had convict written on his shirt. They were using jail people to it was.
You get there, you're using jail people to put your driver's license together. Hey, can I have 3 of them in different names, please?
Of course,
I'll bring you a cake.
Of course, this was in 2008.
Can I give you a carton of cigarettes for the spare ID?
No, it was beetle nut he wanted.
Beetle nut. Okay, you got to explain it because nobody knows on the mainland has any idea what this is.
Okay, there's this local custom where a lot of people they chew this stuff called beetle nut. It's like a little nut that you break in half, and then you take a little lime, not like the lime from a tree, but like calcium carbonate. And they wipe it on there, and then they take a cigarette, preferably a menthol, put it in there, and then they stick it in their mouth. They chew it, and then if you see like gross reddish brown residue all over the ground, that somebody's been chewing beetle nut there. And it's kind of like a mild stimulant. It's just something that they do also in Southeast Asia. And it really is attractive because it makes your teeth turn black. And
I think it could be easily compared to chewing tobacco.
Yeah,
in the U.S. and some places it's more common than others.
Oh well, I think they chew a lot of it. Like in parts of India, they chew it. Southeast Asia. And in Palau, if you've got black teeth, you're considered an attractive woman.
855-450-3733. My friend's grandmother used to chew Red Man. I don't even know if they're allowed to sell that still. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Number 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE here on this live edition. Now, I mean, it's live, but we're experiencing Friday morning and they're experiencing Thursday evening. So, I mean, it's still live, but it's kind of a strange sort of live.
From the future.
It's Mark with you.
And it's shorts and
Alex.
T-shirts.
It's what? Shorts and T-shirts every day.
This is Dave.
Yeah, I mean, that really is it's the uniform of the day around here. Here we are. I don't have my khakis on. I didn't get the memo. But, we all have shorts on. We're all wearing an uncollared T-shirt. I think a lot of people on the island wear Hawaiian shirts. That's pretty common.
Yeah. I like Hawaiian shirts because I'm a little bit big and it hides a multitude of sins. So you can walk around as a big man and it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, the Hawaiian shirts, they do hide a multitude of sins, and there are plenty of sins here on the island. I'd say that, I mean...
Hey, people here like to eat.
Alex has washboard abs, but that's about it. We were talking about ethnicities on the island, Alex. I think you probably drove up the black male ethnicity percentage probably by a good 10 points.
Yeah, I think so.
Just walking onto the island. I want to tell you about Bitcoin. Go to Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your source for all things that are crypto related, not just having to do with Bitcoin Cash or those sorts of things. But if you want to find out what's going on in the crypto world, whatever it might be, Bitcoin.com's got it. They've got the news source at news.bitcoin.com. Also, if you're just getting into Bitcoin, they make it possible for you to get started First, they have some great videos that'll tell you everything you need to know. Seriously, if you don't know about cryptocurrency, what you probably know at this point is it's coming, right? Bitcoin's been declared dead like 200 times. Something that's been declared dead that many times is not going to die. It's just not. It's coming. Blockchain technology is coming, and you need to know something about it. So go to bitcoin.com, watch their introductory videos. It won't take you 10 minutes. Come on. And then you can get your wallet. You can purchase some Bitcoin Cash. You can do whatever you need to there at bitcoin.com. They're the one-stop shop, bitcoin.com. And we were talking about Dave here. Alex, handle this interview for me.
Yeah. So we have our special guest, Dave Radich, coming to us live from Saipan. So for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, he was the guy who overturned the gun laws in the Mariana Islands. So there was a point where handguns were illegal, and David here, he changed that. So let's get more into his origin story and find out, how did this transformative event happen?
Yeah, how the hell did you get here in a place where most Americans don't even know exists?
Well, I was unemployed and homeless. Pretty much, I got laid off from Detroit Public Schools. I was a school teacher at the time. And about 400 other teachers got laid off the same day, budget cuts, all that stuff. So
Michigan's a really wonderful place, especially right around Detroit
area. Yeah. And
property's cheap there.
Hey, I taught in a great school. I had a wonderful principal. I had a wonderful principal. She's was a saint. And we had a really good staff there. You had your typical inner city problems, but it was not a bad place to work. But how money is in
gotta have money.
Yeah. So I got laid off, and for about a year I was working on my master's degree in special ed, and that money dried out from unemployment and all that. So I was driving down to Florida to visit my mom and dad, and I took the coat off. It was like Christmas time, and the weather changed. I took my coat off. I rolled the window down. I'm listening to the Ventures, driving down Route 81A, and saw the palm trees. And I said, a year from now, I'm going to be living in the bloody tropics, because this Michigan stuff is.
It really stinks. I mean, like it's a slap in the face when you go from some place where there's ice an inch thick all over the ground. You're slipping all over the place. You're pulling the cleats on and off the shoes and those kind of things. And then you travel in some manner or another down to Florida or Hawaii or Arizona or wherever.
Yeah. So I just kind of threw out. I threw out a bunch of resumes, and I happened to see that they needed a person here. So I applied, and I geographically knew where the place was, and I always wanted to live on a tropical island. And when I was in the Navy, I traveled to Asia, and before I went to the Middle East, and liked Asia, didn't like the Middle East too much, but and said, hey, you know what? I'll give it a whirl. And I wound up out here, taught on Tinian for 2 years. The school wasn't that good. The principal was terrible, but I ran into my current boss in a bar. He needed some help with something, and we talked, and I did a few things, and then I got hired, and I've been doing environmental work ever since.
And how many years has that been you've been here?
Oh, I got to Tinian in 2006, and then I quit teaching in 2008. And then
14 years on island. You must like it.
Well, there's three kinds of haoles on this island.
Okay, that's us.
There are those that come here for about 2 years, can't handle it, and go back to wherever they came from. There are those that have been here for like 2 to 4 or 5 years, think that they've got something better back in the mainland, go back, and then you hear them, you talk to them on the phone, and they're going, I wish I'd never left. And then you got guys like me who basically have just decided, well, I've been acclimatized to this environment. I don't think I would want to go back to where I came from.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that I have seen a phenomena on the island, these islands. I haven't been to Tinian or Rota, so I can only say the island of Saipan here on the U.S. Mariana Islands. That Howleys, if we're using that terminology, can come here and date more successfully.
Yeah, I guess that is a factor that led me here.
Would you say that it's significantly more successful? Because that's what it seems like. I mean, it seems like you gotta stay in your apartment and be a little troll, not to.
Well, a lot of it you got to be careful because there's a lot of ladies here who are not U.S. citizens and want to become U.S. citizens. So you can fall into
suddenly you've bumped up 2 points on the 1 to 10 chart.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I think there's like a different sort of attitude. I think if I may, American women are taught their entire lives, just like we all are, that male sexuality and male interest is disgusting and reprehensible and should be pushed down at every opportunity. Whereas, let's call them Asian or people in this side, women in this side of the world, just think it's normal. Obviously, I'm a sexual creature. He's a sexual creature too. Yeah, and well, the thing is another thing I like about this place is we're behind the times when it comes to your standard. I would call it political correctness. It's not that they like you can tell a joke and people will not get offended as much as like if you were on I guess the campus of UC Berkeley. You can there isn't this toxic masculinity thing going on. There isn't. People basically tend to live and let live more, and a lot of that is there's an excellent YouTube video by a guy called Black Pigeon Speaks about the white left and the Chinese, the Asian perspective. They call it Baidzwa.
They think they're ridiculous.
Yeah, and if you watch that video, you can kind of get an inkling.
I think I can break it down for you.
Yeah.
The Chinese are graduating 1 million engineers a year, and United States university students can't figure out which bathroom to use.
Kind of.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the state of education right now in America. And that's why everybody's upset. And, shed a tear if you wish. Every empire crumbles, and this one will crumble from the inside. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE if you would like to comment on my very harsh critique of young people in America and the United States in general. 855-450-3733. Or you can use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com. Speaking of Discord, I would like to thank Sean Ree for amplifier ship. He is in the Discord right now. You can talk to him. Thank you, Sean, for all that you do. Thank you, amplifiers. And if you want to be an amplifier, go to amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com.
What good is living in a free society if you don't live a free life? Being stuck in a job or being locked into a relationship, but you're not free to do what you want. I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,566, silver at $17.48, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,412. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, as resistance to U.S. troop presence in both Iraq and Syria gained steam, a rare scuffle between Syrian civilians and U.S. forces broke out Wednesday, resulting in the death of one Syrian, believed to be a civilian, and the wounding of another. Mint Press News reports that a U.S. soldier was also reportedly injured in the scuffle. The event is likely to escalate tensions, especially in the northeastern region, where the incident took place, as Syria, Iraq, and Iran have pushed for an end to the U.S. troop presence in the region, following the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Several companies that are developing medical treatments from psychedelic drugs like LSD, ketamine, and psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, are getting ready to list on Canadian stock exchanges. The Mind Unleashed reports that one of the companies, Mind Medicine Inc., has been involved in clinical trials of psychedelic-based drugs and aims to list on Toronto's INEO exchange by the first week of March. J.R. Ron, the company's co-founder and co-chief executive officer, told Bloomberg. And MindMed Inc. isn't the only company reaching into the deep waters of developing psychedelic medicines. There are a growing number of companies that are conducting or beginning to administer clinical trials of psychedelic treatments for things such as depression to post-traumatic stress disorder. Some trials have even received the blessings of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In late 2018, the FDA stated that psilocybin was a breakthrough therapy via a drug developed by London-based Compass Pathways Limited for clinical depression. Self-declared Venezuelan interim president Juan Guaido may have been given a hero's welcome at President Trump's State of the Union address last week. But he certainly did not receive the same treatment after he touched down in Caracas on Tuesday. His very presence was enough to turn those present, including airport employees, into an enraged mob, hectoring, jeering, and manhandling him, kicking his car and covering him in water and other liquids. Mint Press News reports that video shows an angry female immigration employee shouting, quote, "You are a traitor to our country," end quote, as his passport is getting checked. Others yelled murderer and fascist at the controversial opposition politician. Guaido was roughed up in a scrum of angry Venezuelans, his shirt ripped and his pride dented. Another video shows an airline employee chasing him through the arrivals lounge, pouring beer on him, expressing her contempt for him. He escaped in his car as onlookers pelted it with traffic cones, chanting that he was trash and a murderer. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for, and if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about whatever is on your mind. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. That's the point of the show. Just pick up the phone, call 855-450-3733, and we'll put you on the air and talk to you about whatever's on your mind, including good folks like Jake calling in from Maine. Jake, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey,
Jake.
does the size of your wife's enormous Jewish nose prevent you from deep-throating her?
Okay, my wife's not Jewish. She's Italian, and she doesn't have a big nose. Is that the sum total of what you've got? Yeah, I don't know. When they call in like that, I'm always afraid they're going to drop the F-bomb or something. You know, like I'd be willing to carry on the conversation, whatever it might be, but, I just can't trust them. So, there you go.
That was more off topic than
It's Free Talk Live. He can call in and talk about anything he wants, including my wife's nose, which he has no idea who it is, right? I mean, my wife isn't even my Facebook page. It just says married. It doesn't say married to who. So Jake, not his real name, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't live in Maine, doesn't have any clue. But that's fine. Whatever. Again, I am the sounding board for your stupid jokes. The number, 855-450-3733. So we got Dave Radich here, the guy who, helped change the gun laws here on the Mariana Islands. I think we've got enough background. I want to go into the case.
Yes, that'd be good.
You're a Navy vet.
Yes, sir.
And something happened.
Okay, so here, I was living here prior to coming here. I'd been into shooting. When I was in the Navy, I had an accident where my hand got crushed in our line, and one of the physical
disabled Navy vet.
Yeah, 50% service connected. Yeah, I'm missing my pinky. It's I go to bars and people say, "How did you lose your finger?" And I tell them I was captured by the Iraqis, and I told them nothing. And then they get all impressed, and then I say, "Nah, I'm just kidding." And then I tell them the real story. No, it was just got caught in a rope, crushed my hand, and it took me about 6 months to a year to get function back. So one of the things the doctor told me to do is shoot pistols. So I said, okay, and I went and I started shooting pistols, and I got into, just shooting, and I went through the L.A. riots at the time because I was stationed in Long Beach, and I had an apartment in town, and the riots came, and I saw the only people not getting their houses, well, not houses, but their businesses destroyed were those who stood out there with a gun to protect their place. And I saw crime, and so I became a supporter of the Second Amendment. And then I was sad because when I moved out here, I gave up my gun ownership. I sold a rifle and a pistol I had, and because the laws here were. Gun ownership was heavily restricted to people who had just cause, like hunters or people who were farmers that needed to dispatch their livestock.
There is some hunting on the Marianas,
yeah,
but not really on Saipan.
Yeah, you got some small deer on Rhoda, and then people hunt coconut crabs. They're huge, but not with guns. We'll get into that some other time, but. And it was illegal to use a firearm for self-defense. It was illegal to carry in the home. Like if you had a gun, if you didn't store it at the police department, you had to store it like in a separate room from the ammo with like all sorts of locks. And there were just all these restrictions, and the only things that were legal were basically .22 caliber rifles, 410 shotguns, and
that's the small shotgun.
Yeah, and oddly enough, you could own an AR-15 because it was .223 caliber. I don't think these people who wrote these laws didn't understand the concept of ballistics or any of that.
Okay.
The laws were written by a bunch of do-gooder Peace Corps types who were here during the Trust Territory of the United Nations. So it's basically the UN helped write the gun laws here.
Oh, that's always helpful. The UN's really concerned with your right to keep and bear arms, I can tell you. 855-450-3733. I'm going to take this call from Tom in Daytona Beach. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I have two questions. One is, what is the healthcare situation like there? Are there hospitals, and is there any kind of programs for low-cost access to medicine, or is it just the same here as the U.S.?
Well, we do have Medicare and Medicaid. I happen to be a disabled vet, so I use the VA, and we have a small VA clinic here. It's not actually run by the VA. It's a private doctor's office. We have several private medical practices, and we have a state-run hospital, which is called Commonwealth Health Center. Yeah, the quality of the care varies depending on what you need. Like my mother was here for a couple years. She had some issues, and to be treated for those issues, she had to be flown to Hawaii. So a lot of people can get medical referrals. A lot of people actually go to the Philippines for some of the more complicated treatment, and they actually have a good hospital there, and
There's
it's
also
cheap.
Medical tourism to Thailand, too.
Yeah. And so in travel to those places are pretty cheap. Like I just got a ticket to Bangkok for under $500. So if you have medical issues here, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 for the availability and quality of care, it's about a 6 to a 6.5, maybe a 7, depending on what your issue is. And they do have, Medicare and Medicaid.
Tom?
And the second question is, what does it roughly cost? Like you're talking about this convention in Washington, D.C., so what would it cost, and what would that route look like, say, to fly from there to get to Washington, D.C.? I'm assuming you'd have to go like to Seoul or somewhere, like a major airport first, and then switch planes. And how much does that cost to get back to like the East Coast?
Yeah. So the short answer is $800 to $1,000, depending on how you want to, how you want to go. I came here by taking a trip to Hong Kong and then staying a few days in Hong Kong to, check out the protesters and do reportery things and stuff like that. Still have some audio coming for that. And then I went from here to Hong Kong to here. And the trip from Hong Kong to here was $145 But they charge you for extra for luggage and stuff like that too. So you got to keep an eye out. And then to leave because of the coronavirus or whatever is going on there, the Chinese Communist Party's released bioweapon. I have to go through Seoul, and it's a little more, but not much more, to take that route. So. In total, the big flight's like 15 hours to get from the East Coast of the U.S. to the spot in Asia that you would take the then 3-hour flight from Hong Kong or 5-hour flight from Seoul. And so it takes basically a day of flying.
Yeah, so I've spent some time in Seoul. That would be another great place for you to visit if you get a chance.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. I was there last year, and it's so clean and so safe and so modern. I loved it too.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Tom. 855-450-3733. Have you had any medical issues since you've been on the island you've had to take care of?
Yeah, just minor stuff. I lost all my hair. It was kind of weird.
How'd that happen?
Well, it happened twice. Once I got mange from a dog. That a friend of mine had this like little pathetic thing called Yoda, and I took care of him, and I actually got something from the dog, and I lost all my hair, and then it grew back, and then I had some thyroid issues just about 2 years ago, and I started taking this thyroid medication that said warning may cause some hair loss, and next thing you know. Even my eyebrows are gone, and I look like Dr. Evil. So right now it's coming back. But I'm shaving my head, so it's weird. I mean, I used to have a really thick head of.
Well, we're going to take a break. Watch out for the magma.
I need to get a neighbor jacket.
It is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Alex. And Dave.
The number, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We have Dave Radich here on the air. Dave was involved in overturning the laws here in Tinian that had to do with basically you just couldn't own a gun, right?
Yeah. Well, so...
Did I say Tinian? I meant
it's
to say...
Well, it was the Marianas, which
Marianas.
includes Tinian, Rhoda, and Saipan. But yeah, so basically we had these really strict gun laws, and one day I went to work, and my wife was at home, and about 10 o'clock in the morning, some guy broke into our house and beat my wife nearly to death.
Wow.
Broke several of her ribs, broke her eye socket. I mean, she looked like a panda bear. She was a bloody mess. The police came when I called 911. Basically, she called me. My work was close to home, so I got there, and she was just a mess. The guy who attacked her was, like literally twice her size. I mean, she was a small woman, about 4'10", 4'11", maybe 90 pounds. So she didn't have a chance, and it's
really terrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she recovered, and I mean, we're still friends, but we're divorced. But hey, she moved on.
It wasn't because of that.
No, it wasn't because of that. But I really felt like angry because
here you are, a veteran.
The police, and then the police didn't make any arrest, even though they had a suspect, because the suspect was related to somebody high up. I'm not going to get into that. But I realized that, hey, I can't rely on the police to protect me. And prior to that, when I lived in the Detroit area, I had a guy break into my house one night.
Could you rely on the police to protect you there?
I didn't have to, because I had a .357 Magnum, and when the guy was in the kitchen, I came up from I was renting a room from a friend, and I was like staying in the basement. So I came up, and there's this guy with a crowbar, and I pull out my big old Smith & Wesson, and he dropped his crowbar, and I said, "You can either stay and wait for the cops, or you can leave," and he left. And all that he remained was the crowbar and a turd on the floor. That I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The guy. So
Well, I mean, when you're looking at, you feeling lucky, punk. When you're looking at that,
it was a Dirty Harry looking stainless steel big old revolver.
Yeah,
so,
I think Dirty Harry had a Colt.
No, he had a Smith & Wesson Model 29. Okay. I had a Smith & Wesson Model 686, which a little plug here. If you really want an awesome revolver, I recommend that model. It's like awesome.
But either way, you're looking down that thing, you know it's real, you know it's serious, and you know it's going to kill you.
Yeah, and the thing is, what I realized was that I didn't even have to pull the trigger, which was good because a lot of liberals go, "Oh, well, you just want to shoot somebody." I'm like, I don't want to have to hire a lawyer. And
and can you imagine cleaning up that mess? I mean,
exactly. I don't want to hurt.
Was bad.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to hurt nobody really wants to hurt anybody, and but what it is it's a great equalizer.
well,
I've got
the cops are minutes away.
Yeah.
When seconds count, the cops are minutes away. And
Exactly.
That's not a bite on the cops.
No,
it's
no.
not. They're not. You don't want a cop around you every minute of the day.
No.
And we can't afford to keep you a cop around you every
Right.
minute of the day, whoever you are.
Well, I got a brother in Alabama. He's disabled. He carries a 9mm. One day, about 4 or 5 guys came up, pulled knives. He pulled his 9mm. He didn't even pull it. He just lifted his shirt, showed the butt of the pistol, and they scattered.
Oh yeah.
And so you read
Tried to rob
all
the wrong guy.
Yeah, and you read all the crime statistics, and it's like 96% of handgun defensive gun uses result in no shots being fired ever. And then you read that there's some 600,000 plus defensive handgun uses in the United States every year. And what I'm looking at is this: I want to save lives. And when I have people who want to ban guns from civilian use, I'm thinking, well, you're just going to open it up to the bad guys being able to just have their way with the citizenry.
So when people come to New Hampshire, one thing they're often surprised at is that people can and do open carry weapons right on their hips. We're having a party in New Hampshire, the 4th of July weekend. It's called Fork Fest. It's going to happen right after the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And you can go and find out more at forkfest.party. There will be people open carrying weapons. If this scares you, do not come. You are not welcome, as a matter of fact, at forkfest.party.
So, well, speaking of open carrying, I took my wife at the time. I took her to Alabama to visit my half brothers and other family members, and it was my nephew's birthday party, and it was an open carry affair. There were like 100 people there, and half the people had guns. And my wife said, I'll do an impression of her, "Davey, I feel safe." And it was kind of funny. It was like, in China, nobody have gun,
right.
But here, everybody have gun. I feel safe, and I thought it was funny. And what was best was, they were looking at it. "So Lee Wrong, what's your favorite show?" And she was like, "I like The Walking Dead." And it was immediately, "Dave, she got a sister."
So go on with this story. You're, disabled military vet. You're away at work. Their house is broken into.
Yeah.
Your wife is beaten for no apparent reason. They didn't steal anything, right?
No, I think it was the guy was probably hopped up on meth or some other drug. And long story short, it was like most violence. It was a senseless act of violence. And so I wrote a letter to the editor of the local paper, basically saying how the Heller decision came out, and so did the McDonald decision, and why, as an American citizen, and I read the Sienna Covenant and I read the Sienna Constitution, and it said that like Amendments 1 through 9 of the U.S. Constitution are in force as if this was one of the states. So somebody from the Second Amendment Foundation saw that, and somehow they got in contact with me, and they said, would you like to bring a lawsuit?
They got in contact with me, by the way, and introduced me to you, too.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment Foundation is a great organization.
Oh, yeah. And so there were several hurdles. I had to get a local attorney, and that took a long time because nobody wanted to take the case, and there was an attorney here. I'm not going to use his name because I don't have a permission, but he's a really good guy. And he kind of took it because he wanted to see what would happen. He wasn't really a gun guy. And then we had an attorney from Chicago who had litigated the McDonald case.
It's an interesting question. Either you have, as a human being, not as an American citizen, but as a human being, you either have the right to defend yourself or you don't. And when a state claims to be there to protect your rights, what are they going to do when presented with this important right? The number 855-450-3733. What do states do where you are when it comes to these rights? 855-450-FREE. Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. We're interviewing Dave Radich here about, well, gun laws in the Northern Mariana Islands and how things have changed. The number, 855-450-3733. It's 888-450 free. And before we get into that interview, let's go to the phones. We've got Ralph calling in from Maine. Ralph, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, I just wanted to give you a little update on what I found out about the COVID-19 virus.
Ralph, can you back up off your microphone or phone or whatever it is just a little bit? You're overmodulating a little.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say something about the COVID virus, COVID-19. I don't know if you heard that before. Yeah, they renamed it. Well, today Bloomberg has in the news, they have a CDC official saying that this virus could infect 2/3 of the globe and it could get a foothold in the United States. So the CDC is looking at changing their strategy, and they're talking with suppliers of gloves and masks. So that's one source. Then the other source that I went to, Military Times, which is really interesting, and this is a paper for the military. They're saying that the U.S. military is prepping for a coronavirus pandemic. They're talking about isolation, quarantine, restriction of movement, and community-based intervention. And they're ordering all their commanders in NORCOM, which NORCOM is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Yep. They're ordering all their commanders to prepare to initiate pandemic plans to prepare for widespread outbreak of coronavirus within the United States.
I think that thanks for the call, Ralph. I appreciate it. The phone's just a little messed up there. I think it's worth organizations like this being ready for something that could happen. I mean, at the very least, let's have some readiness preparation. It looks like the coronavirus is probably worse than the Chinese government is telling us. I don't believe the things the United States government says, so let alone believe the things the Chinese government says. So, yeah, I think it's worth paying attention to. We have a little more news on coronavirus if we get to it. Let's go to Michael calling in from Kentucky. Michael, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
How's it going, man? I just got a few questions.
Well, rattle them off then. I've got all the answers.
All right, then.
God knows.
All right. All right. Well, then I'll have one that you probably won't have an answer for. And my question is a little complex, really. Why is it that the United States government historically has always panhandled and catered to the Israeli government? For example, if you look at the conflict between the Israeli military, the IDF, and the Gaza Strip, Israel has been known, and there's video footage all over the internet, to use white phosphorus, which is outlawed by the Geneva Convention as a chemical weapon. And yet, nothing gets done.
Well, is that that's the one of the panderings you're talking about? I'd say the reason is because there are a lot of people in the United States that like Israel. So you've got the Jews, which it's a Jewish ethnic state, and you have Christians who believe that Jesus has to come back and sit on the throne, or some ridiculous, nonsensical belief system that Israel must exist, as if Israel is the same nation that existed 2,000 years ago. I mean, this is a brand new country. So there you go.
Well,
There's
here's my
answer.
second question real quick. This is my second one. If that is in fact a blatant war crime, why is it that people hold Germany responsible for war crimes when Israel's doing the exact same thing in 2020?
I don't know. Why don't we ask organizations that, which organization handles war crimes? Who enforces the Geneva Convention? The UN?
The Geneva Convention, I believe, is through the UN.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a question for the UN, because I know that basically...
But these people, they only give you the runaround. They never answer your questions. They always try and misdirect and sleight of hand. I mean, a war crime is a war crime, period.
Well, lots of nations don't like
that.
Well, lots of nations don't like Israel, though. I mean,
why don't we address the Chinese harvesting organs of their prisoners for their religious beliefs?
So I don't know.
The Chinese harvesting organs?
Yeah, there's I talked to some of these people. We got a Falun Gong group here in Saipan, and they escaped, and they have relatives who, because of their religion, they're Buddhists, get arrested, and because they live like they're more like vegetarians and they're healthy, they execute them as political prisoners and take their kidneys and livers and whatnot and sell them and certify them fresh because they butcher they butcher the people on the way to the airport. So why aren't we worried about that too?
The same thing happened in New Jersey a couple years ago. The very same thing happened in New Jersey quite a few, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years ago. In New Jersey, there was an all-Jewish organ smuggling gang that was busted by a rabbi.
It sounds like you got a real thing against
people
Jews,
that were
doesn't it?
homeless and taking their organs and selling them on the black market. That's a fact. You can Google that.
And they were dealt with
Jewish
by the
organ
law, right?
Smuggling gang, New Jersey.
And they were arrested, and hopefully they went to jail, right?
Thanks for the call, Michael.
No, absolutely.
Now I'm supposed to believe that there was a Jewish organ smuggling organization where nobody enforced the law. That would be fascinating to me. That somehow there's a news article on that one.
What bothers me about any of this kind of stuff is that people have the capability of being wonderful people,
sure,
and have the capability of being evil. Like, okay, so the Israeli government does this and that, or the Chinese government does that, or the United States government has done that. You can't say everyone who happens to identify with that particular nation.
Right. I was born in the United States. It does not make me responsible for everything
I'm not
the United
proud
States
of the
government did.
I'm not proud of the Tuskegee experiments. But does that mean that all Americans are culpable? I mean, that's a good question.
No. Well, it's not a question. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, these the answer to his main questions is what he wants me to say is that I hear Jewish people are bad, evil, shape-shifting lizard aliens, right? Or some ridiculous thing like that. But in fact, states are unaccountable organizations, that they do not operate in the same sphere that the rest of us do. Any government can basically get away with whatever it wants with its own citizens. Yeah. And sadly, the UN considers the Palestinians to be basically U.S. And any of those surrounding Muslim states could take those Palestinians in, but they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Brad calling in from Ontario. Brad, you're on Free Talk Live. Brad?
Who has control? Hello?
Yes. What's on your mind?
I long-time listener, just wondering, I have questions about libertarian.
Okay.
So hypothetically, if we are all libertarian.
Okay, so everybody in the world is libertarian? Everybody in the world is libertarian?
If we're all libertarian and we all get, we all understand each other and we agree. Well, who takes care of the bad guys and where the hospitals come from and where the highways come from?
Where do the hospitals come from?
Yeah.
Well, people open them to make money.
Or charities can open them as well, right? Aren't many hospitals run by Christian and other charity groups to this day?
Yeah, but if you have zero money, if you have zero money and you're a criminal,
people are willing to pay for medical care. People are willing to pay for medical care. They pay for medical care all the time.
Do you eat, sir?
I'm a Canadian citizen. I pay for Medicare every day of my life.
Do you eat?
But
hold the line, Brad. Hold the line. I'm gonna come back to Brad. Talk about this a little bit. The number 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Palo d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus doesn't grow on. So it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Palo d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. Shopsupertea.com.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women. Here's a clip from The Rachel Ray Show testing the results of Instantly Ageless.
Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Whitney Bowe.
If you're looking to try to turn back the clock on a budget, in the privacy of your own home, but actually there's some recent technologies emerging, almost like changes the behavior of the skin while it sits on the skin.
She went off to try a product called Instantly Ageless.
Yeah, instantly you could see a difference. Even the cameraman were like, wow, look at the difference.
Yeah,
but I would definitely use this product.
This product, within minutes of applying it, it was actually a very dramatic rejuvenation.
Try Instantly Ageless today at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Alex.
And Dave.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Well, now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app. That's AnyPay Cash Register app. You just go to your your phone and look at the App Store, whether it's the Play or whatever it is, and install it. Add it to your cryptocurrency. You add your cryptocurrency wallet address to it, then install it at a real life business. Help them install it, and tell them at AnyPay, AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com. Tell them you did it. It's AnyPayInc.com, and they make it easy for you. This is a way to make cryptocurrency for yourself. It's the AnyPay Cash Register app. You can get more information at AnyPayInc.com. Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Brad calling in with, I think, some relatively common questions, which is, in a libertarian world, right now, Brad, I believe the question was, in a libertarian world, how would we have hospitals? Is that correct?
Yes. Am I on the air?
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
Yep. So the question is, well, I would say that hospitals existed before the government paid for health care, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
We would pay for it the way we paid for it before the government got in and drove the pricing up. Like, you would agree that pricing in healthcare has gone up significantly more than inflation, right?
Well, nowadays we have so much greed and involvement and stealing and lying that nobody can trust anybody. So what about the guy or anybody who just, needs help, basically, and he doesn't have the money to take care of himself? Like, he lost his finger in an accident. Where does he go?
I believe Dave can speak to that.
Yes.
Having lost his finger in an accident.
Yes. You're from Toronto, you said?
No, Ontario.
Okay. Well,
Southwestern Ontario.
I used to be a neighbor. I'm from Detroit. Anyway, it's kind of funny. I just went to a full communist country the last year. I was in Vietnam. And what struck me about walking around Vietnam and talking to the people was how even under the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, they have a 1%. It's called the Communist Party. The people there don't get as good a health care as we do in the West because they have no choice but to go to a government-mandated place. You get better health care depending on what your rank is in the party. And most of the people there, for example, in the United States, you have the Bernie Sanders crowd going, we don't like the 1%, the 1% this, the 1% that. Well, in a socialist country like Vietnam, for example, or China, like where my ex-wife is from, they have a 1%. It's called the Communist Party. And they really do.
Okay.
I mean, like in China, for example, they have a different brand of cigarettes that only Communist Party people can buy.
We're going way left of my question here, I think.
There's charity organizations, right?
I brought up hospitals, but okay, let's say police.
Hundreds of
let's say my
hold on,
neighbor
Brett.
is a nut job.
I think you're
let's
right.
Let's say my neighbor is a nut job, and he wants to commit crimes all over the place. As a libertarian, how do you deal with the nut job neighbor without government?
You own a gun.
Right. Libertarians believe that you should not initiate force. But if somebody initiates force against you, you're allowed to use commensurate force to stop that. So if somebody is threatening your life or attempting to rob you, you shoot them center of mass.
That's where I have a problem with some of this.
Brad, you ought to shoot people who are
mind
committing crimes.
Is what? We're all for ourselves and we should just shoot each other when we disagree?
Brad, if somebody's trying to harm
you, call the police. What are the police going to do?
Look, Brad, there were two times in my life.
I agree with you guys. What is the solution?
Well, let me.
The solution is to punish bad people for bad behavior, right?
Yeah.
Who's punishing it is less important than how you punish them and how quickly the response comes in.
Yeah.
If your crazy neighbor comes over to your house at 11 p.m. at night, how long before the police get there? You're going to call them and just wait by the phone? He's breaking down the door. He's coming in my room.
You do. I don't trust the police any more than you do. But as a libertarian, if I'm choosing to be a libertarian, I'm not seeing the ultimate solution as to how to deal
libertarian world, Brad, isn't going
criminals and healthcare.
Okay, well, with criminals, it's relatively simple, and we've made it abundantly clear to you.
Yeah.
In a libertarian world, just like this one, you're responsible ultimately for your well-being.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you can turn over your responsibility to politicians, and they would love you to do that. They would love it if you just call the cops and die.
Mm-hmm.
They would love it if you take their health care, which is going to continue to get less innovative and more costly and lower quality over time.
It's corrupt as no doubt. That's why I'm asking.
May I ask you a question, sir? You sound like a very nice and intelligent person, and I think we all have the same goals, but do you believe that people on the whole are good, or do you believe that people on the whole are bad?
Well, that's a very interesting question, because as I've grown older, as a child, I used to believe that everyone was good. As I grow older, I'm starting to believe that most people are bad.
Well, I happen to believe that you got maybe a percentage, right? So you got maybe 20% of the population are good, maybe 20% are bad, but everybody's in between. But in order to function as a society, we have to be nice to each other. I mean, let's face it.
Exactly.
So the thing is
and there's no more polite society than an armed society.
Yeah. So for example, like I want to eat, so I'm willing to voluntarily exchange some of my wealth for somebody else's food. And, in a, quote, libertarian world, it's voluntary exchange and non-aggression, because you can't get through the day. Like, for example, let's say you're walking around with a gun and the other guy's got a gun and everybody's got a gun, but...
You can't rob each other.
Do you think people are going to be shooting each other all the time, or do you think people are going to basically be like, hey...
In the United States, people are shooting each other all the time, and in Canada, they don't shoot each other all the time.
No, they aren't.
Well,
there's like 10,000. There's 100,000 gun owners in the United States, and about 10,000 murders with firearms.
Right. This is really important, Brad. So people who have concealed carry permit holders, they are 10 times safer. They commit 10 times fewer crimes than cops, who commit 100 times fewer crimes than your average people. Hold on, Brad. You're just talking. Brad, you're talking without listening. So that makes concealed carry permit holders.
I'm not a gun advocate.
I'm not claiming you're a gun advocate.
You shouldn't have to be.
I'm telling you statistics about guns. The concealed carry permit holders are, in fact, 1,000 times safer than your average citizen. Most of the gun crimes and most of the gun killings, and you're claiming the people shooting each other in the United States, well, there are more murders in the United States per capita than there are in Canada. That's 100% true. However, they're going on in certain metros, and most of those metros are run by Democrats, and most of those metros have draconian gun laws that disallow people from carrying.
And the war on drugs has a lot to do with it.
All for yourself kind of
Who are
attitude?
you for?
All for yourself?
What do you mean? All for yourself? No, I think that's a ridiculous
what
attitude.
I'm questioning is the libertarian attitude towards how do we protect ourselves against criminals, and how do we have health care without government?
If somebody...
I hate government, but what's the solution?
So, well, the answer to healthcare is you should be putting some of your money away for the inevitable, right? We're all going to get older, and we're all going to have healthcare problems. Now, if maybe you want to participate in some insurance program like Social Security, where you put a certain amount away every single week in order to get a certain amount every single month at the end. That would be a smart thing to do. But to have the government do it just incentivizes people to not plan ahead, and to honestly to be nasty to their children. Brad, I really appreciate this, and I hope you call back in with some more questions about a libertarian world.
I appreciate it too. I'm just questioning because
it's good to question. I appreciate hearing from people.
I don't understand. Let's
call back later. Thank you for the call. Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you ever feel like you're in jail, a virtual jail, because of your job or maybe your current relationship where you're not allowed to do what you really want to do? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,566, silver at $17.48, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,412. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/freekratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, as resistance to U.S. troop presence in both Iraq and Syria gained steam, a rare scuffle between Syrian civilians and U.S. forces broke out Wednesday, resulting in the death of one Syrian, believed to be a civilian, and the wounding of another. Mint Press News reports that a U.S. soldier was also reportedly injured in the scuffle. The event is likely to escalate tensions, especially in the northeastern region, where the incident took place, as Syria, Iraq, and Iran have pushed for an end to the U.S. troop presence in the region, following the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Several companies that are developing medical treatments from psychedelic drugs like LSD, ketamine, and psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, are getting ready to list on Canadian stock exchanges. The Mind Unleashed reports that one of the companies, Mind Medicine Inc., has been involved in clinical trials of psychedelic-based drugs and aims to list on Toronto's INEO exchange by the first week of March. J.R. Ron, the company's co-founder and co-chief executive officer, told Bloomberg. And MindMed Inc. isn't the only company reaching into the deep waters of developing psychedelic medicines. There are a growing number of companies that are conducting or beginning to administer clinical trials of psychedelic treatments for things such as depression to post-traumatic stress disorder. Some trials have even received the blessings of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In late 2018, the FDA stated that psilocybin was a breakthrough therapy via a drug developed by London-based Compass Pathways Limited for clinical depression. Self-declared Venezuelan interim president Juan Guaido may have been given a hero's welcome at President Trump's State of the Union address last week. But he certainly did not receive the same treatment after he touched down in Caracas on Tuesday. His very presence was enough to turn those present, including airport employees, into an enraged mob, hectoring, jeering, and manhandling him, kicking his car and covering him in water and other liquids. Mint Press News reports that video shows an angry female immigration employee shouting, quote, "You are a traitor to our country," end quote, as his passport is getting checked. Others yelled murderer and fascist at the controversial opposition politician. Guaido was roughed up in a scrum of angry Venezuelans, his shirt ripped and his pride dented. Another video shows an airline employee chasing him through the arrivals lounge, pouring beer on him, expressing her contempt for him. He escaped in his car as onlookers pelted it with traffic cones, chanting that he was trash and a murderer. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
After decades of searching the cosmos, today NASA announced that what it was really looking for was right here on planet Earth all along.
For years, we've foolishly chased after comets, moons, and stars. Outer space may be beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the smile of a child, nor as sublime as a good bottle of wine shared among friends. Our search ends where it began, here on this big blue marble.
Astronomers say that while their telescopes were pointing at Mars, they never even noticed the planet that was right in front of them. NASA now plans to appreciate what they already have. The agency's latest report, entitled "Wonder is Everywhere: Finding the Beauty in the Everyday," calls for further study of the little things that truly give life meaning.
Warm rain on a summer day, the smell of pine trees, touching the worn paper of your favorite book, that's what's always made us happy, not some asteroid a million miles away.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Alex.
And Dave.
The number, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE. We've had a bunch of calls tonight on Free Talk Live. I do love that. Let's go to the phones. George calling in from Nevada. George, you're on Free Talk Live. George, can you hear me now? How about now, George? Let's put George on hold and see what's going on.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Yes, George.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. What's on your mind?
All right. Yeah, I got a question. Why is it that we continue to allow these dirty, filthy, conniving Jewish rats into our government? I mean, we all know where the deep state is. It's in Israel.
Oh, wait a second. I mean, you have. Are we proposing that all people that are Jewish are dirty, sneaky, and conniving?
I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I think you're a bigot.
I mean, it's a little bit of Jew blood coming out of you. You know, I mean, you have that little part of the Jew inside of you, Mark.
I know you love to say Jew. Would you say that if I was right in front of you? I don't know what you're saying there, but I'm afraid you're cussing. I wonder if somebody would say that to me if they were standing right in front of me. I don't know.
They wouldn't.
I don't think they would. I mean, I'm not a big, imposing man or anything, and I'm not threatening to punch his teeth down his throat. But I just wonder, I mean, would he have the guts to do that if he didn't have a piece of electronics in between him? Let's go to Andrew in Colorado. Andrew, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
All's well.
I was just calling in. I wanted to comment on another caller was calling in asking what would we do in a libertarian society for hospitals and police and all that stuff. And I think you guys obviously... I find it pretty obvious that as far as hospitals hospitals go, we'd have plenty of hospitals. There's a huge demand for it. And, there's definitely be nonprofits and churches that run it and private organizations, hospitals. But I wanted to touch base on the security portion of it because I felt like you guys left a little bit lacking in that explanation.
Okay.
If you don't.
That's the whole point of Free Talk Live is that you're there to help us to make a better case. So please go right ahead.
Okay, well, I think it's more than just having a gun and shooting somebody if they attack you. Yeah, that's definitely important. If somebody attacks you, protect yourself. But I believe there's also a huge possibility and almost surety that there's going to be plenty of private security agencies that could help out with things like that. There would be people would form communities and say, me and my neighbors, we all want to feel protected and safe in our communities. Anarchists and libertarians aren't against laws or rules. We can still dictate in our society voluntarily that we want laws and rules and we want to be protected from psychopaths, and then we can hire some security guards to protect us. We'd be able to fire them if they were corrupt.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Andrew, I think that's a really important distinction. So, for instance, if your house gets robbed and burglarized, and in today's society, you can't sue the cops for your house getting burglarized. But if you had a private security company that you contracted with to protect your home, you could sue them because your house got robbed.
Well, you brought up neighbors, too, which it's like this. Most people get along with each other. Most people help each other through voluntary exchange. And I don't know anyone who doesn't go on vacation and say, hey, neighbor, here's the keys to my place. Could you do me a favor and turn the lights on every night just to make sure it looks like somebody's home and you collect my mail? And the neighbor goes, yeah, sure. And then if you see your neighbor's window broken, you're going to be the one to call. So everybody helps each other. Everybody helps each other in a society. It's not like we're all on our own without big brother government. And I like your attitude, and I
think
agree with it.
One of the things about is libertarianism creates a better society. So I would say Social Security creates a worse one. I would say that this belief that the cops are going to protect your house while you're gone creates a worse one, and I'll make my case. So in the case of what you're talking about with a neighbor, you have to talk to your neighbor and be nice to them.
Exactly.
In the case of Social Security, you have to be nice to your kids because who's else going to take care of you in your old age?
Well, it's funny. Here I am. I got neighbors. I live in an apartment complex, and after my lawsuit and guns are illegal, people come up to me and they say, "Hey, how can I protect myself?" And then my neighbors would see me coming home from the shooting range, and I'd have an AR-15 and a box of pistols and whatnot, and my neighbors are going, "Oh, you got guns?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, well, that's cool. So you got my back if anything bad happens. It's kind of yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a sense of community that if you have a community and you have people who are connected with each other and you actually learn to love your neighbor as the good Lord said we should, the security thing becomes a lot easier.
And I think that's the problem with the state in general, is it perverts incentives. When you have a strong welfare state, they provide anything. What incentive do you have to be nice, compassionate, or care? You can go yell at anyone, scream your head off. There's no reason to be nice because you're going to get your food stamps, you're going to get your free health care, you're going to get your housing. So what incentive do you have to be a good person, be a productive person, and just advance civilization at all?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Right, and I just want to make one more point, and that point is that government does not do anything. All they do is steal from people and then pay others to do it for them. So there are already road builders, there are already doctors, there are already security professionals. All they do is steal and redistribute, and we could just use that money to do those same things on our own. That's my last point.
And do it. Thank you for the call, Andrew. And you can do it significantly less costly. There's nobody out there who's listening to me who thinks to themselves, well, the government can do job X cheaper. I mean, really. I've heard this proposed by the leftists that somehow the government administering single-payer health care is going to make it cheaper. And I think
the asterisk. It's not that government doesn't do anything. It's that they don't do anything productive.
Well,
right? So what they do is they get in the way and increase costs, which is something that affects all of our lives.
Yeah. Well, who got us to the moon? It wasn't NASA. It was Grumman. It was ILC Dover. It was North American Rockwell. It was Texas Instruments.
I'm glad you're here because I have no clue.
Well, what I'm saying is like
Tang. It was a Tang.
Tang was made by Nestle Foods. I mean, basically, who got us to the moon? Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, all those guys got to the moon, but it was private enterprise that did all the legwork because, like you said, government didn't do it. Government may have set the goal, but it was like the guy on the line at McDonnell Douglas who actually turned this wrench and got the thing built. So,
and I think that there are sort of so there's people that work for the government to do things.
Yes.
So let's talk about the garbage men for a second. The garbage goes away. Now, I've lived in places where garbage pickup is private. It's private sector here, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. So garbage pickup is private, and I've lived where it is government run. And I can tell you that it cost about the same, and the service was significantly better in the private sector. The difference is that I had my garbage rejected. Oh, you put the wrong things in the recycling bin. Terribly sorry, we're not picking up any of it. Oh, you didn't cut your branches the right length and tie them in a bundle. Whereas with the private sector, they're just like, I'm picking up the stuff, right? They don't, they didn't give you any rules, and they're just going to pick it up. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure that the county is getting money to give to the garbage pickup people from someplace else too.
And then there's also different levels of government. I mean, some things, for example, public schools. I'm not against public schools. I used to be a public school teacher, but I quit being a public school teacher in large part, not fully, but in large part because the federal government kept putting more and more regulations on how to do my job with these No Child Left Behind and Common Core type mandates, whereas before 1979, we had no Department of Education, and yet we led the world in public education.
And it's what you're saying is absolutely true, Alex. Is the government does do things, it gets in the way. It makes things significantly more inefficient. The number 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
For the past several years now, area woman Caitlin Mooney has been convinced that each and every one of her friends should be a professional comedian. Our reporters spoke to Caitlin this morning about her, quote, hilarious group of friends.
Karen is so funny. Like, I can't even explain it. She's always just saying whatever on her mind. She has this totally sassy attitude. You just can't help but laugh. My roommate Rashmi, she always has these hilarious stories that, they're just too much. I'm always telling her that she should just go up on stage and talk. Everyone would love it.
Mooney went on to say that her good friend Lauren is so funny she could, quote, definitely be on Saturday Night Live or The Office, a sentiment she echoed about a number of her other acquaintances, including her childhood friend Marcia, her college roommate Angela, her coworker Julie, and even her sister Jennifer.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. There's no such thing as a free lunch. It's Mark with you.
And Alex.
And Dave.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. Try to make it easy for you. I think it's probably the easiest show on radio to get on and talk, because you don't have to be talking about what we're talking about necessarily. Just say, hey, change the topic. I'd like to talk about this thing or that thing. And that's what we do here on Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about the Divvy wallet. Their next generation wallet is coming, and it is on the way. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy, that's D-I-V-I, says you'll be able to send money around the globe with only a swipe, an instant exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and government currencies right in their mobile app with withdrawal directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though. Divvy's already offering the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes. That means all you have to do is go to divvyproject.org and begin downloading software, and they've got this what they call the one-click masternode. And yeah, the payouts are pretty good. I think it's at like 40% APR. That's pretty nice. Divvyproject.org. That's D-I-V-I. Divvyproject.org. Let's go to the phones, guys. Let's go to Mike in Gold Bar, Washington. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
How are you guys doing? I asked the screener if I could plug the owner of KBKW to start with, Boss Bill, for bringing us your show. And he does actually mention at 6 a.m. in the morning about you guys a lot. And it's a bunch of old listeners, but he does plug your show. And I hope someday, Tuesday or Thursday, you actually call him between 6 and 10, Aberdeen, Washington time, and just say, hey, Boss Bill, it's us. Because he would love it. It'd be cool. But anyway, that's out of the way.
I think it's like right in the middle of the night here at 6 o'clock. I
know,
can't see
but
my
that's
sheet
okay.
of
It'd be
paper.
worth getting up for, I promise you. I know. It just would be neat.
When you talk to him, though, when you call in the next time into a show, do say that I said thank you.
I will, and he knows that.
Thank you.
Anyway, he's a great person. Anyway, what I call, when I first started listening to you, I was a little like, you guys are really hard on the government, blah, 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 and all this stuff. But growing up in Aberdeen, Washington, where Kurt Cobain grew up, I've talked many times. We've got the Needle Exchange program. They're spending $27,000 a month on a homeless camp at City Hall, all these little things. And this is a town that I grew up in. I spent over 50 years there, and I'd love to go back there, but I'm now starting to realize that it'll never be a place where I can live, and it's the city government that's doing it. And I'll just give you a quick little rundown on the wasting of money that is needed. 3 weeks ago, I had a dear friend that was struck down by a vehicle in a place that should have a push-button blinky light, and she lost her life because of it. And I advocate for pedestrians. I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm very avid about, like, when cars just blow me off and almost run me down, I say things I shouldn't, all this stuff. But the mayor gets on the radio this morning, and they're talking about how, they're doing pretty good with money. He's the new mayor. He's been on city council probably 20 too many years already, and now he became the mayor. Anyway, so they had this really cruddy, they have a really bad venue for city council meetings. It's like a low squatty room that you might have a buffet dinner for a wedding or something in if you were on a budget. It's like one of those big low ceiling room. And they had a terrible, probably an old realistic Radio Shack sound system. And it was always a problem, blah, blah, blah. Today he gets on the radio and they re-upped and got a new sound system. Now, you know a little bit about sound, I'm sure, probably actually a lot about sound, and I'm a musician. So I pack around $2,000 worth of stuff, and I can play almost anywhere with 150 watts and good equipment. They spent $27,000.
Wow.
$27,000 on a sound system. If you look at the first YouTube video, Aberdeen, Washington City Council, there's one person at the meeting. They spent $27,000. And when I called and said, you could have bought a nice portable Samson thing, and you find someone that knows how to set it up, they laughed in my face that I had no idea what I was talking about. I've been playing music for 25 years.
Right.
And with a little bit of equipment, I could light up. And I just can't believe the way it's for them. It's not for the city, the taxpayer. It's for them.
Yeah, I think they want to. They've got the money, and they want the nice system.
They want a nice sound system, and most of the time they're talking to themselves because there's no one there. So they're not doing it for their community, so now I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to really go there except maybe to visit Boss Bill because he's so fantastic.
Thanks for the call.
And that's
Mike.
it.
Well, that answers the greed question.
Yeah, it's easy to spend money when it's not yours, and that's almost always the problem, is the incentives are misaligned for government. When they're not paying the money, it's free money. It's like if you give your kid a credit card, wait till you look at the bill in a month, they're going to see everything, all the candy and ice cream they could possibly find. It's the same thing for government, but I guess instead of candy and ice cream, they're buying sound systems.
Right, and with sound systems, he's absolutely right. You can pay what you want. We're sitting here doing the show right now on, the equipment in the studio, that $30,000 he was just talking about, the $27,000. I think we paid that as far as equipment at the studio, but here in this remote studio, this board I think was $100. Actually, it's this board over here that was $100. This one's probably a little bit more, but $150. So we're managing to make this sound pretty good with $60 mics and a $150 board, and things are going pretty well. Let's go to David calling from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, done any diving yet in Marianas?
No,
Yes.
I did go to the diving location called the Grotto, but I didn't have equipment or anything like that. I'm kind of waiting for my wife, has been a dive master several times to come. Where'd you go?
I went to Lau Lau Bay, couple of times. Very good diving out here. The water is pretty crystal clear.
You could do quite a bit with just snorkeling here.
Oh yeah, I've snorkeled a lot, but then I got a guy that he's a diving instructor who is getting me through my PADI certification right now. And it's pretty awesome.
What about the tank? There's like a Sherman tank out there.
Oh, no, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the water. Like in the lagoon, you got 3 Sherman tanks. You got a couple of Higgins boats. You go up a little bit more between Monagaha and Lower Base. You got a sunken Japanese cargo ship. And there's a couple of airplanes.
B-27 somewhere too, isn't it?
I don't think it's a B-27. It's a
B something.
It's I think it's actually a Japanese bomber, and then you got a Zero somewhere. There's actually, if you go to American Memorial Park, which is the National Park Service, they've got available publications. They'll tell you where everything's at.
Very interesting.
And then, just walking around the island, there's a couple of Japanese tanks that are just sitting around that have been...
They got them painted up.
Yeah, well, like they had moved them from their original place. Then you got gun emplacements on the beach that most of them are kind of covered up, but a lot of World War II stuff floating around. Some unexploded ordnance, which my company has helped removed a lot of it.
David, hold the line if you would.
Go ahead.
I know you just asked about diving, and
sorry,
it's something I want to talk about.
It's awesome.
I do love the island here. It's just so gorgeous, and so many things about it make it a wonderful place to be in the winter. That's for sure. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Besides, we just can't have people floating about unregulated,
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. I will finish, I promise, this interview with Dave Radich about how you freed up gun rights a bit here on the Northern Mariana Islands. And thank you for that. It's heroic to step up and do those sorts of things. And I would encourage everybody to, when you have that opportunity in life, and you'll be presented with one, stand up rather than sitting down and doing what the government says. The number, 855-450-3733, 55-450 free. Ian is telling me that I was unclear during the Divvy ad, that I used the term APR, which I was intending to describe the annual percentage rate that has been the payout from Divvy in the past. It's around 40%. But that's certainly no indication of how things are going to go in the future. If you think I can tell you what the price of Bitcoin or Divvy or any cryptocurrency is going to be tomorrow, well, you're just looking in the wrong place. And I would also go this far. If you believe that anybody can tell you the price of Bitcoin is going to be tomorrow, they are also lying to you. Let tell you about Edge Wallet, though. I can tell you this. The best wallet to possess and use for cryptocurrencies is the Edge Wallet. And the Edge Wallet allows you to store almost all the cryptocurrencies out there, just many of the big names. Hopefully Divvy will be there soon too. But Edge Wallet is available to you at your app stores. It's either an iO or Android or whatever it is, Apple and Android, and you can get it in all the different forms, and it's easier to use because it's just a username and password as opposed to the long mnemonic, what they call it, a bunch of words that secures the wallet. You can use that if that's what you want to do. You can go in and use the advanced features, but other than that, Divvy is it's a really great wallet. You can hold your crypto, spend from there. You can even trade in there. Basically, it is everything you need in a wallet, all in one, to control your digital life. It's just go to Edge, EDGE, edge.app, edge.app. It's that simple to get the wallet. Edge.app. Let's go back to David, who is calling in from New Mexico and asked us about diving, and then off we went, talking about diving here in the Northern Mariana Islands, which is a great place for that. So go ahead, David.
Yeah, on guns and sheriffs and red flag laws. But last thing on the diving, though, is how do you spell that whatever Lila, whatever the bay was?
L-A-O? L-A-O.
L-A-O, L-A-O. That's one of the things around here is people will say words that I am like, whoa, Mount top of what?
Which has 3 spellings.
Right.
Even Capitol Hill can be spelled or an O here.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of dive shops here. There's a lot of people who will take you diving, and there's a lot of dive spots.
Yep. There's a man named I can't remember what his name was. It was Captain Concepcion who found most of the dive spots in the past. But anyway, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, the guy who takes me, his name is Sergey. He's a former Soviet frogman from the Spetsnaz. So
Sergey will kill you.
Sergey, he's a pretty cool guy. And then you got other dive master. You got about, I would say, maybe about 30 or 40 dive shops here.
Let's David, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I like to check it out sometime. This New Mexico sheriff thing and sheriffs all over the country, actually Virginia and elsewhere, if a person searches online, constitutional sheriff movement, because there's a lot of these guys that are taking a stand against these red flag laws and other gun laws. A couple interesting points is the New Mexico legislature that's still meeting, when they day one, when they opened for business, this 30-day session, just a couple weeks back, they barred all of the sheriffs from entering the Capitol, the legislature, as long as they were carrying their duty weapons. The sheriffs had to disarm if they wanted to come into the Capitol.
Really?
Which is a change. Yeah. So law enforcement had to disarm from their duty weapons in order to enter the legislature, which was a first. They implemented that this year, and then
cops can usually just carry their guns into courtrooms and pretty much any government building. It's very rare for them to have their guns taken from them, in my experience.
Well, I think this is a good law because it's going to change their mindset, right? Normally, when they see gun law, that doesn't apply to me. Who cares? But now they're going to start to think about guns because it applies to them as well.
Right. Well, I don't know. Most law enforcement people I know are pro Second Amendment, regardless.
Well, it depends on your state.
Depends on the area, really. Not in New York State, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know in Albuquerque, in the city, the Albuquerque Police Department, they're against restricting law-abiding citizens from having guns, so they're against gun laws. The majority of them, anyway. But the interesting, there's one guy in particular. Latest news came out today, I think it was. And you can find this one if you want to. New Mexico sheriff vows to go to jail over proposed gun law. The legislature, when the sheriff stood up to the legislature and said that if you pass that red flag law, we're not enforcing it, the legislature then amended their proposed bill to put in a liability provision that if the sheriff refuses to, or any law enforcement refuses to enforce the red flag law that the legislature intends to pass, that they would, right in the law, they were going to write in there how the law enforcement person refusing to enforce the red flag law could then be sued for anything that happened if they refuse to enforce the law the legislature passed. And this guy is saying southeastern New Mexico sheriff is vowing to go to jail and risk his seat rather than enforce proposed red flag law. Lee County Sheriff Corey Helton said that, and so he said.
Do you know how the Constitution in New Mexico treats guns? Do you have the right to keep and bear arms in your Constitution?
Yes, we do. So it's a double violation by our legislature. They're violating the U.S. Constitution by writing a red flag law, and they're violating the New Mexico Constitution as well, because they do have that clause in there.
I don't know what it says in New Hampshire, in New Mexico, or any other constitution, but I know in New Hampshire it says that every man, specific, has the right to keep and bear arms in protection of himself, his family, his community, and the state, or something like that. And as if that's what I'm dying to do, is protect the state somehow. But it's really clear that every man has the right. And then they have these laws that disallow felons from owning guns. And how can you have these two things written?
I think what really needs to be done, no matter where we're at, is we need to start suing these people.
I agree.
I mean, I don't want to toot my horn.
You can toot.
I got angry. And I sued. Another friend of mine here got angry and he sued, and
Dave, thanks for the call.
Yeah, we got to sue. We got to get involved with the Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, NRA, whatever organizations form our own. And I think the best way to handle this is to take these legislators to court and win there.
And you've done that, right?
Right, you have done that
successfully.
What are the rights of gun owners in Mariana Islands as the Constitution says? Is there anything in the Constitution?
Well, there's no CNMI Constitution right to keep and bear arms,
okay.
but the covenant, which is the treaty that created the CNMI, the covenant basically says that the Second Amendment is in force as if this was one of the many states. And we have, not a very big gun culture here, so I think that's why it took so long. And there's also sort of the mentality of, the nail that stands up the highest
gets pounded
in.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm curious about, we know that basically all the guns were illegal here in what you call the CNMI, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, or Saipan, which is what pretty much everybody else says. But I want to find out what's legal now. The number, 855-450-3733. Or the Discord lines, discord.freetalklive.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I am too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I got this bald spot.
It's thinning everywhere.
I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs, and a free gift card to anyone who texts KIT88 to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KIT88 to 85850. KIT88 to 85850.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Final segment. Call in, talk about whatever you want to talk about. The number, 855-450-3733. We brought Dave Radich on here to talk about his lawsuit against the sheriff's department of.
Well, it was the Department of Public Safety.
Okay, so the cops
and the Customs Department.
And what we did find out is that, we found a little history about the Northern Mariana Islands, Saipan, these sorts of things. We also found out that basically everything was illegal here. You could have 22 rifles, but you had to store it at your house, and the ammo in separate rooms. They made it just as difficult as they possibly could. But they signed a piece of paper, this compact that they have, that said that the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution is enforced here, and that means that you have the right to keep and bear arms. But nobody really fought it at any point. You had a terrible incident. You're a disabled veteran. You're away at work. Your wife was beaten up by some guy who broke into a home invader for no apparent reason, senseless crime, and you didn't feel you didn't feel safe. You couldn't defend yourself, and you didn't feel the police department gave you justice on that. So you wanted to be able to have a gun. You wrote a letter to the for
local paper, Saipan
paper,
Tribune,
right. And then the Second Amendment Foundation saw the letter, and they helped you put together a lawsuit. Tell me about it.
Well, it took about 6 years.
Wow.
So it took about
Justice's swift sword, huh?
Well, it took like a couple years to get an attorney that would handle my case locally, and then once things got started, I had to apply for a pistol license, and so did my wife. And what was awesome about it, it's like my ex-wife, she's not a U.S. citizen, but there have been many cases that a legal U.S. resident who is an immigrant can't have a firearm for self-defense because it's a fundamental right. And so she and I both applied for a gun license. Somebody from the Second Amendment Foundation donated a couple of firearms because it was illegal for me to purchase one, but there was no law against getting gifted one. So we applied. They denied it. They sat on it for like 6 months. They wouldn't even like touch it. And then we didn't actually physically get the guns until the suit was over.
They usually have to be sent from what they call FFL.
But actually the guns I didn't even get the guns until well after the judgment was in May, and May of 2016. Okay. And then immediately after they put this $1,000 tax on all guns, they put they put this assault weapon ban. I'm doing air quotes here, which said you can't have anything with a pistol grip, and then they restricted calibers again, and then a whole bunch of other draconian stuff, and then a friend of mine.
Was a political stunt, or they actually thought they could get away with it?
I think they just thought that they could get away with it. Plus, they have a bunch of liberal lawyers from California who come out here work for the Attorney General's office. So I think it's like a mixture of that. And then, of course, I got death threats, and people were
death threats.
Yeah. I actually got death threats, and there was somebody called
people on the island.
Well, I think it's a bunch of lefty howlies who did it. In fact, I was confronted by one of these people at a Christmas party. We were introducing ourselves, and I shook her hand, and she goes, "Your name sounds familiar." I said, "Yeah, well, I was in the newspaper." And, well, for what? I said, "I sued the governor." She's like, "Oh, good on." And then and she goes, "For what?" I said, "Handgun legalization." And she's like, "You're an effing NRA stooge, you all that stuff." And there were people that actually were writing into the local paper, acting like, the gun apocalypse was going to happen, like Santa Claus was going to fly over the island with a bag of Glocks.
Yeah.
And people were going to... And you know what happened when it all was said and done? Nothing.
Nothing. Really, nothing's happened.
Home invasions went down a little bit.
There were... Let's see. There's been, 5 killings in the last 20 years on Saipan?
No. Actually, my friend Paul Murphy, who followed up with the suit against the registration, which they're violating right now, so we're putting in a criminal complaint for...
I'm going to get Paul Murphy on this show before it's all over, too.
Yeah. Paul's an interesting guy. He's a former Ranger, and he's a school teacher. He's a good guy. He
teaches the kids, and should he need to, he could kill any one of them with his bare hands.
Yeah, well, he's a gentle guy.
I'm just saying,
but
have a plan to kill everybody in the room.
Paul followed up with his suit, and so basically, the CNMI government passed the SAFE Act, which violates everything that the federal judge, Judge Manglonia, who ironically was an Obama appointee, they passed laws. So right now we got a bunch of laws on the books that are null and void because a federal judge has said that they're no good. So right now we've got, I would say it's better.
I gotta get a cough button in here.
it's better for gun owners than it is in places like California right now. And as I said, the gun apocalypse never happened. And but we did have several murders on this island with firearms, which Paul brought in his suit, pointing out that out of the 13 murders between the years, I think it was like 1999 to 2016, of the 13 murders, 11 were committed by police officers. And we're not talking like freeze, you're running away and, a bad shooting. I'm talking like my girlfriend's cheating on me, so I'm going to use my service weapon to end her, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a pretty big numbers, and then when you start figuring in the Chinese mobsters,
and you do have we had a problem with the Yakuza for a while, and then you have the Chinese triads here. And the fact of the matter is like I could have basically broken the law, gone and gotten a pistol from the Chinese mafia or a crooked cop or somebody. I'm not saying all cops here are crooked; most of them are good, but before my suit, you could get an illegal handgun or even a full auto AK-47 on this island with no questions asked if you knew the right person, and it would take like less than 24 hours. Now you have to have a background check. You have to have a license. It's controlled. I'm not exactly keen on everything, but I can understand for some of the people with concerns that it's better to have a somewhat of a control and a vetting process.
Yeah, I too am sort of stuck on this. Just push that microphone away from you when you have to cough. I'm kind of stuck on the same thing because on one hand, I certainly believe that we were born with the right to defend ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. We were born with the right to make tools. We were born with the right to transact with other human beings. So therefore, we have the right to transact with somebody who has made a tool that we can defend ourselves with.
Exactly.
I mean, this is simple stuff. On the other hand, I do see that, what do we call them? Concealed carry permit holders. They call them CCWs.
Depend on where you're at, but yeah.
So concealed carry permit holders are some of the safest people in America. Mm-hmm. And they carry guns, in many cases, every single day. And they do a great job of it, and they keep us all safe. But without that little... the little test, whatever the test is, whatever the way it is that they become concealed carry permit holders, without that, where are then you just have to figure in every person who has enough money to have a gun and carries around in their pocket instead of having a holster and, is just irresponsible with it generally. And I think that's going to, to some extent be a detriment for that.
Well, there's a lot of common sense with firearms. Like, for example, that pointing a gun at somebody is dangerous. You know that if
you're responsible for that.
Yeah, and here's like another thing too. Like that woman at the Christmas party who called me an effing NRA stooge and other names.
When in fact you are a Second Amendment Foundation stooge.
Yeah, exactly. I consider them to be my stooge because they represented me and hooked me up. But and I didn't get any money out of the lawsuit. I got a pistol.
But they took good care. They paid for everything.
They took care of me. But I didn't get any rewards monetarily. But what I think is funny is like that person who calls you the names, they come from an attitude of like, oh, you just want dead school children. Well, I was a school teacher, okay, for 10 years. I taught in the inner city. And
so you're saying you do want dead school children?
No.
You don't want, okay.
I want to protect those school children. I want those school children to be protected because I care. And one of the reasons why I choose to be armed is because I see myself as an ally to the police and everybody else who doesn't want to get murdered.
Dave Radich, if you want to check out his case, you can do that. Look it up. You've got the internet, right?
Yeah.
Dave Radich. It's spelled Radich.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com. I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,566, silver at $17.48, and Bitcoin is trading around $10,412. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, as resistance to U.S. troop presence in both Iraq and Syria gained steam, a rare scuffle between Syrian civilians and U.S. forces broke out Wednesday, resulting in the death of one Syrian, believed to be a civilian, and the wounding of another. Mint Press News reports that a U.S. soldier was also reportedly injured in the scuffle. The event is likely to escalate tensions, especially in the northeastern region where the incident took place, as Syria, Iraq, and Iran have pushed for an end to the U.S. troop presence in the region, following the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Several companies that are developing medical treatments from psychedelic drugs like LSD, ketamine, and psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, are getting ready to list on Canadian stock exchanges. The Mind Unleashed reports that one of the companies, Mind Medicine Inc., has been involved in clinical trials of psychedelic-based drugs and aims to list on Toronto's INEO exchange by the first week of March. J.R. Ron, the company's co-founder and co-chief executive officer, told Bloomberg. And MindMed Inc. isn't the only company reaching into the deep waters of developing psychedelic medicines. There are a growing number of companies that are conducting or beginning to administer clinical trials of psychedelic treatments for things such as depression to post-traumatic stress disorder. Some trials have even received the blessings of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In late 2018, the FDA stated that psilocybin was a breakthrough therapy via a drug developed by London-based Compass Pathways Limited for clinical depression. Self-declared Venezuelan interim president Juan Guaido may have been given a hero's welcome at President Trump's State of the Union address last week, but he certainly did not receive the same treatment after he touched down in Caracas on Tuesday. His very presence was enough to turn those present, including airport employees, into an enraged mob, hectoring, jeering, and manhandling him, kicking his car and covering him in water and other liquids. Mint Press News reports that video shows an angry female immigration employee shouting, quote, "You are a traitor to our country," end quote, as his passport is getting checked. Others yelled murderer and fascist at the controversial opposition politician. Guaido was roughed up in a scrum of angry Venezuelans, his shirt ripped and his pride dented. Another video shows an airline employee chasing him through the arrivals lounge, pouring beer on him, expressing her contempt for him. He escaped in his car as onlookers pelted it with traffic cones, chanting that he was trash and a murderer. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This year's Coachella Music Festival is happening right now. And that means one thing, the largest gathering of contact jugglers in the world. All the biggest names from the sea juggling scene are performing all over the festival, including Mr. Tomorrow, Isis, White Angel, Chad Brunstein, and of course, the legendary Conundrum. Our own Lena Perez is live at Coachella.
This music festival is a who's who of org masters and jugglemen.
What have the highlights been so far?
Well, Yasu Kaitu did his first stateside performance in 3 years over by the Smoothie Tent, which was amazing. And there was festival favorite Hans Hansman freestyling in his usual spot near the portable toilets. But I'm really excited for Becca Flannery Miller. She's 4'5", wears transition lenses, and is a master of the multi-ball.
I love her. And I heard there was a surprise late night set from the Winterhorn Brothers.
Yeah, right outside the DJ tent. It was an unbelievable flurry of spheresmanship.
I wish I was there.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah. Undefeated here and declare your independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEA studios of Phoenix.com. Yeah, I'll do better next time. All right, what we're going to do is in the third hour, this is going to be very interesting. Brandon and Maggie Williams has a company called Iron Edison. Now, when I first started doing my battery project and stuff and so on and such, I went back and looked at a lot of our articles when I started doing that and the problems I had with. Tell you the biggest problem was getting the glassware to make the catalyst. I need, like a mad scientist, beakers and burners and stuff. And they wouldn't sell it to me because I didn't have a business address. They say, if we just send beakers to any old address, then you could be a meth lab, and then the DEA would be in our butt, and they want all our records and all our customers, and no, we don't want to do it. And I'm like, what? Oh, drug war. Yay, thanks. Then one of the listeners said, there's a supplier that supplies homeschools, and you can get whatever you want. And I go, all right. It was so bad that I had to go down by the airport, Sky Harbor here. There was a guy that had a business selling old lab equipment. That was his business. It was just he'd get had a bunch of stuff, and he'd sell it. It was like antique, Dr. Frankenstein, So I'm like, it's this hard? Seriously? Now, it's changed a lot since then. It's gotten a lot more. Amazon sells you, 308 conversion uppers for your AR. But, I mean, it's back then it was just, this is part of the story. Well, in the early days, there was, who else is doing that? Well, I came across, this was like in 12, that they were making nickel iron batteries. Now, I knew that because of the increased surface area of carbon nanotubes, graphene, carbon was going to be a big part of future batteries. Well, it's starting. And now I always said, I don't want to make it. I want to buy it. I just wanted to make sure that the government didn't try and get a patent on carbon. That's so... Anyway, so I wanted to prove it to myself and see if it could be done. You could. Within 3 months, man, I was making battery, making go whir. But I needed a 3D printer. And, I only got so much time. But the 3D printer with ABS plastic, because the potassium hydroxide, which is a really base electrolyte that was in that, just ate through, plastic and dissolved just about everything. But ABS plastic, the black plastic, that held up pretty good. So I'm going, all right, let's do that. So anyway, it's a long story, testing, so on. You go to the battery project category on Freedom's Phoenix, and you'll see a lot of stuff go to the beginning. But what happened was these guys were already doing it. Well, I don't know when they added the carbon, but they developed a carbon nickel iron battery. Well, one of the listeners, our friend from down south here in Arizona, he said, check this out. So I go in and I go, oh, there we go. And I remember these guys, from back then. So I called them, they answered the phone, and I said, hey, what's up? Need to come on and tell us the whole story. I want to hear everything. So we wind up, we're needing to get some battery storage like this. There's the battery storage that we have on the bus for big ass batteries for starting that big diesel engine, and then you have batteries that's the backup, for your 12-volt lighting. You got a little extra power for the fan of the this and the that and the so on, and then it's out and you got to run the generator. So, but if we had a large enough battery capacity that you wouldn't have to worry about running out of power, so I'm going, yep, let's get some solar panels. That flexible solar panels that we've had, it's like you roll it out. It's on vinyl, and you can tape or glue it down on top of the bus. Boom, you got your solar panels. You're good. And you need power. You need battery. So, we've been looking at different ones, and I named off a bunch of stuff. There's one called Simplify. It has that chemistry that seems like it's getting a lot more dense, and, there's and lithium ion has a tendency, if you charge it wrong and it's not matched up with a charger, they could start on fire underneath your bed. And I go, I vote not that. So looking at different chemistries and so on. And then they came, it's called battle battery or battle bat or something like that. Bye, baby. battery bat something. And I go, okay, well, that looks good. And then there was Alex, a young man back in New Hampshire, knew a little something about something. So he was checking on some stuff. People sending me things, going, he looked at and kind of, okay, this technology. And then this one came up. Who wants to, that bus is going to be stickered like a freaking NASCAR. I'm going to endorse whatever the hell I want. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some batteries out of it and pimp them if it does what I think it does. This is what I was looking for. Hopefully we'll see how they do their carbon, but so that'll be interesting. The Iron Edison Battery Company was founded to serve the energy storage needs of customers who care about the environmental impact. Oh, I gotta have that in there. The founders of Iron Edison, Maggie and Brandon Williams, believe that all the little steps you make to reduce your impact can really add up. We saw the millions of batteries that were scrapped every year and set about researching how to take steps towards solving this problem. What we found was nickel-iron batteries. This is why we went to nickel-iron to begin with. Remember, you have to keep changing out the lead acid. So Bob Anderson goes, hey, I got to find something else. This is getting old, So going on his third battery pack, that was $5,000 to $7,000. I mean, he's like, you know what? I vote no. What else can we do? Well, nickel iron is made by nickel and iron, but it was made by Thomas Edison, and this is the batteries that powered the electric cars back in the day. So if you watch Jay Leno and he's tooling around a little black tiller steering wheel, so it's like a stick on a thing, tooling around in that. I don't think it had a steering wheel. I think it had a tiller. I don't remember. So he's tooling around in that. Well, it's the same battery, over 100 years old. It still works. And the reason is because of the way the chemistry is. Because I think in that one, it's the electrolyte where it has, it gets tired. You just take the liquid out and you put some more in and you, boom, rock and roll and whatnot. So you will these batteries to your children kind of thing. So I'm, all right, but they're heavy. They're not, that's what the carbon was for. It gives it increased surface area and makes it a lot lighter, but it uses the same kind of chemistry and it doesn't go bad. So that was what I demonstrated. It works. And then it's like, I could become my life. I got stuff to do, man. I just want to buy it, but I knew this is what was going to come. So quantum reality again, Well, we're going to have a lot of fun proving that over and over and over and over and over and over. So, we'll be doing that in the third hour. I'll go over the news when we come back. Oh, you're going to make me. It's like Mark Edge. We did a show from Marianas yesterday. Yeah, I'll tell you about that, too. Yeah, the Marianas. Oh, tell you all about it when we come back.
From the fourth letter of Captain Mark. Landlubbers are conditioned to believe that the originators of an idea deserve exclusive rights to it, but these innovators are nothing but privateers, granted a monopoly by the Crown. Potential inventors are restricted from using their own property and forced to navigate a wilderness of prohibited ideas. These pattern monopolies are intellectual colonization. This alliance of means between the Crown and the privateers is not an alignment of ends. Both collude to establish a permission culture, in which everyone second-guesses their own thoughts, never sure which ideas are permissible to develop. But their objectives are different. The Crown aims to cripple dissenting opinion, while privateers will only be satiated when all new ideas already fall under their monopoly. This scheme does not protect our information, but seizes it and denies us access. The future belongs to individuals who think, speak, and act freely to create and share without reservation. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. You're already listening to LRN.FM, whether via our 24/7 satellite feed, online streaming audio, or our video feeds. LRN.FM's content is available in multiple ways, but what if all you have is your phone and no data connection? You can call our listen line at 641-793-8869. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-8869.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Well, no stinking road is going to take you to Mariana's. All right. Mark Edge is the sales guy and the partner on Free Talk Live with Ian Freeman out of Keene, New Hampshire. Now, while I was back there, where's Mark? I get, messages from Mark. He was like going to Mariana's, something, when's he coming back? Oh, no, he's there for 6 months. 183 days, man. He's doing his whole thing. I can live here and vote, something. I'm going, really? Tell me everything. Well, the Marianas Islands is a chain of islands that go from Guam north. It's kind of like you have the Hawaiian Islands. You got, a string of islands. Well, there's a bunch of islands out there, and the Northern Marianas is its own state and a territory of the United States of America. So what happens is you go, it's like Mexico City latitude is where Hawaii is. It's like south of, Arizona, and you go straight west, and you go, 3,000 miles or something ways, and Hawaii. Well, if you go the same distance west again, Marianas, all right? So the Northern Marianas is like Philippines, it's Asia. It's way the heck over there. And I never thought of that. I'm going, okay, so that's a U.S. territory. And you got, China getting all rambunctious and everything over there. And I'm going, there's that, yay, But it's your U.S. and there's some advantages, like in taxes and stuff. And they don't pay taxes, So it's interesting. And, what they do pay, you get like rebates of 70% back for something. I can't remember what he was saying, But anyway, so it's a low tax thing for him. and it's English. They speak English, and you have some native tribe and so on, but it's mostly Merca. And you have Japanese and Chinese influences there, but especially this one flu thing, that's drying up. But it's about, I think he said 60,000 people in the area that he did on this island. So it's got a McDonald's. I mean, whatever. It's he's going. Yeah, you got some chain stores out here. You got like your, I don't know, your Outback, Chili's, whatever. And you're in the same time zone as Japan and Australia. And you're on the other side of the international date line. So when I was talking to him on his calendar, it was the morning of the next day. So, what was it? I did 2 o'clock, so it was like 7 in the morning for him, something like that. So, not to yak about it. And it's pretty pristine, clean, nice except some of the beaches if you're not cleaning up the beach, you get a bunch of plastic. So the beaches get like Asian, Indonesian, trash or something, and here we go. And they blame a lot of that Pacific big trash heap on America. Nah, not so much. It's probably comes from China and Indonesia and stuff a lot. So he really likes it there. His family still, his wife and daughter are still in Florida. They're originally from the Florida area, and they don't like winters in New Hampshire. And a guy came and he made a case for it. He says, "Look, man, there's this place. It's American territory, but it's got advantages of this, and this, and leave you aloneism way the hell out there." And it intrigued Mark enough that he goes, "Okay." So he went. He stayed. He still does his job. He does his job. Well, I guess it's like half a day later, but I mean, or earlier. But he's early. Yeah, I'm early. I'm a day early. Ha ha. So he does a sales job for Free Talk Live from there. He does the show once a week from there, and I'm going, okay. Why? Just because taxes and the man and just cold and so. We're going to have a place we can go in, way west. But, west. You go so far west, you're in the east. Know what I mean? So, all of a sudden, now here comes this China thing. We'll see how that works out. So, you go to the archive, the Declare Your Independence, ErnestHancock.com, or you go to freedomsphoenix.com, and on the top right, you click into the show and you'll see it there, and you can listen to the podcast with that. It was interesting to get caught up with Mark. Excuse me. Okay. Angry people will no longer be afraid. Thousands of Chinese military police quarantined, dozens diagnosed after